Sick of people at ESPN or SportsCenter who think they have their heads on their shoulders, but really don't? Well, it's time for the #1 sports show on the web, the Jimmy the K Sports Show. We're going to give you the most urgent sports news. Now it's time, yet again, for the #1 rated sports show on the web, the Jimmy the K Sports Show. Here we go, boys. Happy Tuesday, boys and girls. It's your host here, Jimmy the K, as the name states, the Jimmy the K Sports Show. How are you doing this Tuesday evening? I'm really impressed with what we've done with this only being the second Tuesday night of us doing them on Tuesday nights. I'm somewhat impressed with them being on Tuesday nights. I think we may do next Tuesday at 7 also and see how that ranks. But more than likely, we're going to keep it on Tuesdays. We may do a Saturday or Sunday show occasionally, but Tuesday nights around 7 seem pretty legit right now. I want to thank all of you, the fans, that have come by and stopped by the All About Sports page. I have legitimately got, since the last 3 months that this show has aired, I've literally went from having about 17 likes on the All About Sports Zone page to around 42 likes right now. And, you know, people come and go as they see fit. It doesn't bother me, but if we were to have kept those 3 or 4 that would have left, we were averaging around 45 to 50 likes, to be quite honest with you, since the last 3 months or so of the show. I want to thank you, the fans, for continuing to like the show. Continue to tell your friends out there. I know a lot of people out there that have liked the show may not know a lot about sports, may want to know a little bit more about sports, but yet they have friends, you know, that are enthusiastic or very intrigued by sports, that they can pass the show on to. They can pass the page on to their friends, to their family members, and the more likes that we get, the better the show will continue to get as things continue to get better and better. Now, I want to start off by telling you something that about 2 or 3 shows ago, I mentioned that there was a LPFM in the Fort Worth Metroplex that was starting. They were looking for hosts of TV or radio shows, and I got in contact with them, and you know, I've been eagerly trying to get a response back from them, but from their Facebook page, honestly, it looks like they only want local people. That's their loss. So be it. I can go find, you know, a real FM and try to sell this show. You know, I'm not going to dog this station, because at some point it's very possible they may become a mainstream and I may have to try to sell myself to them again. But again, that's their loss right now. I'm going to look into other local Oklahoma radio stations. I'm going to look into some Dallas stations. 1310 The Ticket. I got a friend that works at Salem that I may kind of get in contact with and see if, you know, maybe they'll help push the show. All kinds of good things will continue to happen as long as you continue to show me that you continue to like this show. So, with that being said, let's get on to the sports news. There was a lot of things going on the last week or so. The NBA deadline was last Wednesday, and boy, was it a deadline to not to remember, or to remember. It was one of those deadlines that was awesome. With so many players moving from teams, some players moving to their original teams that they were drafted at. We're going to go piece by piece. I'm going to give you my grades for these teams. I won't tell you how they fared or anything. I'm just going to basically tell you my grades. I may give a little analysis into it, but these were the trades that happened at the deadline last week. Prior to that, you know, the Mavericks got Rajon Rondo from Boston, and bigger and better things are happening with Dallas as well. But things that happened at the deadline last week. The Boston Celtics received Isaiah Thomas, Luigi Daltome, and Jonas Jerebko. They traded away Marcus Thornton, 2016 first-round pick that was Cleveland's, and Tayshaun Prince. My overall grade for the Celtics is an A minus. Some people like Yahoo Sports, ESPN have given them an A plus. I give them an A minus. I think honestly, by getting rid of that first round pick, they actually hurt themselves because they may need that first round pick. By trading for those players, they're trying to say that they can compete somewhat this season and even quite possibly next season. Do I think that's possible? No, I don't. Not at the rate that they're going right now. The Brooklyn Nets received Thaddeus Young and traded Kevin Garnett. That grade was an F in my opinion. A lot of people gave him a D. I give it an F. Garnett's going to go back to the Nets or he's going to go back to the team that originally drafted him in the Timberwolves, and he's going to do wonders there. But Thaddeus Young, I just don't see as a great piece for the Brooklyn Nets. The Denver Nuggets received Thomas Robinson, Victor Claver, Will Barton, Portland's lottery-protected first-round pick in either 2016 or 2017. And it turns into two second-round picks if Portland misses the playoffs in both seasons. Yahoo, ESPN, everyone else gives them a B minus. I give them an A minus. I feel like by all means, Denver did everything to try and continue to compete, and Denver has done nothing but progressively gotten better over the last couple of seasons, and this trade will definitely move them over the top. They may not compete this season, but they could very well be a team that we're talking about next season in 2016. The Detroit Pistons received Reggie Jackson and Tayshaun Prince. They traded away Kyle Sealer, DJ Augustine, Thomas Jerebko, Luigi Daltome. Everyone gives them a B plus. I give them an A minus. Reggie Jackson, Tayshaun Prince will be a great acquisition. Reggie Jackson earlier in the week, last week, asked the Oklahoma City Thunder for a trade. For about a month, he wanted a trade when they traded for Dion Waiters, knowing that his backup role had been pushed to really a bench role, so to speak. So by doing that, what they've done is they've gotten them a starting point guard from here on out, and the Detroit Pistons have a leader in Reggie Jackson. Tayshaun Prince, well, he's a leader himself. The Detroit Pistons have gotten that much better. I give them an A minus. The Houston Rockets received DJ McDaniels and Pablo Prigioni, traded Isaiah Cannon and 3 second-round picks. I give them an A plus. The Rockets are in it to compete. If they don't make the finals this year, they'll definitely make it next year with the players that they've got thus far. The Miami Heat received Goran Dragic and Zoran Dragic. They get the Dragic brothers. They traded 2 first-round picks, Justin Hamilton, Sean Williams, Norris Cole, Danny Granger. Everyone gives them a B plus. I give them a C minus. Why? Because the Dragic brothers will do fine in Miami. Do not get me wrong. But the fact that Miami traded away that many pieces could very well hurt them, not now, but next season and beyond. So I give them a C minus with that trade there. The Milwaukee Bucks received Michael Carter-Williams, Tyler Ennis, Miles Plumlee. They traded Brandon Knight. Everyone's giving them a B minus. I'm giving them an A minus. I feel like uh, for trading Brandon Knight and getting what they got, they are proving that they want to get better. They want to get better, and they want to prove that next season and seasons beyond that will be seasons that they start to compete in the NBA. Minnesota Timberwolves received Kevin Garnett, traded Thaddeus Young. I give the Timberwolves definitely an A+. I agree with Yahoo, ESPN, everyone else out there. Kevin Garnett going back to the Timberwolves, the original team that drafted him and signed him. Um, Kevin Garnett was not happy with his previous team. We understand that. He's going to go to the Minnesota Timberwolves where he can shine. He can shine and hopefully get that ring and compete from next season on. New Orleans Pelicans received Sean Williams, Norris Cole, Justin Hamilton traded away John Salmons. Everyone's giving him a B. I give him a D. Why? Because you traded one player for three. Norris Cole's the biggest name out of that. Sean Williams, don't know much about. Justin Hamilton, don't know much about. But I do know Norris Cole is one of those players that can be an elite NBA player and move the New Orleans Pelicans above and beyond where they need to be cellar dwellers where they've been the last couple of seasons. New York Knicks received Alexei Shved and 2 second-round picks and traded Pablo Prigioni. Grade is B. I agree. For what the Knicks received and what they traded, equal trade. B is pretty equivalent, and only having to give up a couple second rounders, not all that bad. You're gonna compete from next season on, and you know it. So a B for the New York Knicks. The Oklahoma City Thunder received Enes Kanter, DJ Augustine, Kyle Singler, Steve Nutbeck. They traded Reggie Jackson, Kendrick Perkins, and a future first-round pick. Everyone's giving the Thunder an A+. I agree with that. The idea is that Kendrick Perkins, was doing everything this season that he needed to, but he actually lost the spot to a backup role to Steven Adams. We know that. So he wasn't happy. Reggie Jackson was definitely not happy once the Dion Waiters trade was made. And, a future first-round pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder are trying and willing to do what it takes to go above and beyond and get the city of Oklahoma City a championship within the next 3 seasons. It will happen. For them to be in the finals a couple of times the last few years and just be that close. Sam Presti has done his homework and everything to make this team a lot better for seasons to come. 76ers received first-round pick from the LA Lakers. Top 5 protected in 2015, protected 1-3 in 2016 and 17, unprotected in 2018. The Leicester of Denver or Minnesota's 2015 second-round pick, first-round pick from Oklahoma City, JaVale McGee, second-round pick from Denver, Isaiah Cannon, second-round pick from Houston. They traded Michael Carter-Williams, KJ McDaniels, and their grade, everyone's giving them a C-. I give them a C+ for all they've gotten. For all they've gotten, they've have really not proven to be a contender. So they're looking to rebuild, make this team better for next season, 2 seasons from now and beyond. Phoenix Suns, a C- grade. I gave them a C+. They received Brandon Knight, 2016 first-round pick from Cleveland, Danny Granger, John Salmons, 2 first-round picks from the Miami Heat. They traded a first-round pick Miles Plumlee, Tyler Ennis, Goran Dragic, Isaiah Thomas, and Zoran Dragic. C minus, I agree with that. Everything that they traded, everything that they'll receive is about equivalent, but it's not an A plus grade because for them to compete, they need pieces now and not 3 or 4 years from now. Portland Trailblazers received Aaron Aflalo, Alonzo G, excuse me. They traded Victor Claver, Thomas Robinson, Will Barton, first round pick, and they got a good A. And I totally agree with that. I totally agree with the A that ESPN, Yahoo, and everyone else has given them for what they traded away and what they received. They are proven that they want to compete and compete from now on for the next seasons to come. Sacramento Kings received Andre Miller and traded Ramon Sessions. Everyone gives them an A. I give them an A plus. 2 equivalent players. Andre Miller will go to the team or go to Sacramento's teams and immediately help them better themselves from this season on. And Ramon Sessions moves to his team and will make that team better from this season on as well. Utah Jazz got Kendrick Perkins, first round pick and second round pick. Traded Enes Kanter, Steve Novak. That was a C grade. I agree with the C. Kendrick Perkins is no longer in that deal because Kendrick Perkins got a buyout and was set a couple of days ago to sign with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And to my knowledge, he did sign with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Will be a big man in Cleveland. So basically what Utah got was a first and a second round pick for Enes Kanter, Steve Novak. Enes Kanter really proven his worth in the Oklahoma City Thunder lineup right now, as Kevin Durant is out from surgery, and we'll go into that more here in a couple of minutes. Steve Novak, not much yet. He's going to be far off into the bench, but the other players that they've received have come in and played quite well. Utah got a C. I agree with that for what they received and what they gave up. I honestly give them a C minus the Kendrick Perkins deal because Kendrick Perkins was bought out. So Washington Wizards received Ramon Sessions. They're going to get better. They traded Andre Miller. Ramon Sessions is a player that can make the Wizards a lot better in seasons to come. And so, therefore, I agree with that grade, FB from Yahoo and ESPN as well. So, with that being said, lots of things happened at the trade deadline last week. Wow, I didn't realize that was going to take almost 20 minutes, but it did. Awesome things. I mean, so many teams just got better last week. My biggest winner out of the NBA deadline deals, though, were the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder went all out to get the pieces that they knew that they needed to get better and get them to a championship caliber team that they were in the past, and to get them that ring. So Sam Presti, a pretty smart genius, making great things happen there. Also, the Mavericks signed Amari Stoudemire. That deal by Amari Stoudemire going to Dallas just makes Dallas 10 times better. The Western Conference is going to be a pain in the rear to be around after the All-Star break, and we can already see that as fans right now, that the Western Conference is just so tough and tight right now, as teams just did everything to trade and get better and push themselves over the hump. So with that being said, I talked about Kevin Durant and surgery. Kevin Durant had surgery, if I'm not mistaken, on his foot, or his foot's injured, one or the other. Even if it wasn't surgery, he's going to be out for a bit. And here's the thing. I want to discuss what the fact, or what this does to Kevin Durant's stock during free agent period coming up after the season. What does this do to Kevin Durant's stock, him being injured so much this season? Now, is this him balking over the fact that, he's got a little ingrown toenail and he doesn't want to play? Or is it legitimate and he's just continuing to hurt his stock in the NBA? We see this in all of sports. The more a player is hurt the season before free agency, the less and less money they get. So Kevin Durant hasn't played in a lot of games. While the games that he has played in, he's showed to be that MVP player. He still hasn't played in a lot of games, and he's hurting his NBA stock by not playing in those games. So, do the Thunder keep him after the season? If they do, they're going to keep him at a lesser clip than what everyone thinks, because he's been hurt so much, and anyone that goes to try to sign him is going to sign him for less than what he wants anyway because of the injuries that he's had this season. So Kevin Durant just continues to stick his foot in the fire and hurt himself for free agency as it is coming up in the near future. Switching gears to baseball, I want to go on a tad little rant here. The new Major League Baseball commissioner, Rob Manfred or Manfred or Mantoy or whatever they call him, is talking about a pace of play for baseball. They're experimenting with a pitch clock in the minor leagues this season, and they're going to, experiment with it. If it works, they're going to use it in the major leagues to try to shorten baseball. And he's also talking about a shorter baseball season. Okay, I'm going to go on a rant here. Excuse me. I don't know what this guy's trying to do, but to me it sounds like he's trying to sabotage baseball. One, he's using the excuse that fans want shorter games and shorter seasons. How many of my fans out there on the Jimmy the K Sports Show want shorter baseball season, for one, or for two, wants a shorter game? I don't want a shorter season or a shorter game, because that is 3 hours that I can go sit in a ballpark, enjoy myself, whether it be with my family or without my family. Maybe I need to get out of the house. Maybe I need to, have alone time with just me and my son, or maybe I need to have alone time with just me and my wife, or me and family members, or you name it. That's 3 hours plus that I can get out of the house, that I can sit there and enjoy a game that I love. How are you going to tell me that the majority of fans out there want a shorter season for one and want shorter games for two? I don't. 3 hours is perfect for me. I can go out, sit at a ball game, have a hot dog, eat some peanuts, have some Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back, because I'm going to root for that home team. And if they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Who would have thought I would have went into that? But seriously, who wants shorter seasons, shorter games, when you're a baseball fan? You're a baseball fan for a reason, because you love the game. You don't want it toyed with. You don't want the season toyed with. So I urge you, Rob Manford, Boy Toy, whatever your name is. I don't know what your name is. Maybe y'all fans out there of the show can message me at All About Sports Zone with a link or whatever with his how to pronounce his name. But really, I don't care at this point because the guy's trying to sabotage a sport that I love. You know, go sabotage soccer or tennis or golf for crying out loud. But do not come play, do not try to come to baseball and sabotage baseball and claim the fans want it. No, that's a load of crap. The fans do not want it. It's just an excuse for you to line yourself with more money because you're only going to raise the rates of the games. Ron Manfred, that's his name. Excuse me, Mr. Manfred. Manfred, what an idiotic name. Seriously, what kind of an idiot wants to destroy baseball? Rob Manfred wants to destroy baseball, and we all know it. We all know he wants to destroy baseball because we're seeing it right now. Douchebag. Excuse me. Pardon me, but that's exactly what he is. Along the same lines, and in happier lands, the Texas Rangers extended Adrian Beltre. Remember I said, I believe on last week's show, that the Rangers were thinking about extending Adrian Beltre for 2016. And they did. They extended him. But by him extending, the numbers are flip-flop. He'll make $16 million this year, $18 million next year. And when asked about it, his quote was basically that he gave up and allowed them to pick up that option because if during the trade deadline they need that money or they need that money now to sign a key player, then they have it for the time being and they can move on from there. Very generous of Adrian Beltre. Beltre is one of those players that I think the Rangers did very smart in picking up his 2016 option. Had they not, he would have went somewhere else. Granted, everyone's talking about a long-term deal, but long-term past the age of 36, 37, 38 is not real equivalent. He'll go to a team if, you know, they don't resign him after 2016 to a team that will compete if Texas ain't competed by then. But he knows they're going to compete. He can see that. And therefore, he allowed them to pick up the 2016 option. And by picking up the 2016 option, the Rangers have third base locked up until then. With that being said, it's that time of the year for spring training to start. And remember last year, I think at the start of spring training, I did my predictions for the AL West. What I think I'm going to do this year is I'm going to do a prediction for each division as to how they'll finish. I'm starting off with the AL West this year, and I'm going to go from there. So my pick for the AL West finish this year, and granted, spring training hasn't gotten into full swing. This show's being aired February 24th, 2015. All players report to spring training tomorrow. For most clubs already had their players there. So here's my pick for the AL West. The Athletics take 1. Angels take 2. Houston takes 3. Seattle takes 4. And dare I say it, Texas is 5th. So, this season's predictions for the AL West, and hold my feet to the fire as the season begins to start. Athletics, Angels, Astros, Seattle, and Texas. With that being said, that's this Tuesday night show. And until next Tuesday, which would be March 3rd, 2015, I'm your host, Jimmy the K. You are watching the #1 sports show on the web, the Jimmy the K Sports Show. And until the next time, remember, there are 3 easy ways that you can get a hold of me. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/allaboutsportszone. You can email us at allaboutsportszone, one word, @gmail.com.
We don't have to worry about nothing.
Or you can like us on Twitter at JimmyCersey1. Until next week, March 3rd, 2015, I'm your host, Jimmy the K. Peace out.
Outer space, light it up. Like we're the stars of the